Hey, what's up, guys? I want to talk about accountability. Now, let's be honest. Accountability is hard. It's difficult. It's hard to blame yourself. Like, honestly, I know y'all feel the same, but I'm going to put me in your perspective. I know I feel better blaming somebody else for a fault rather than myself. I mean, like, I don't feel like that now, but I know that's the feeling, you know what I'm saying, that a human gets or whatever. Like, it's better to be like, oh, it's the principal's fault that, my child is acting like this, blah, blah, blah. When all reality, you're not seeing what your child is doing. You only like pointing the finger, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not my child's fault. My child knows better. I raised my child. My child's good or whatever, because it's your child or whatever. So you got to point the finger at the principal or whoever's, pointing that at your child or whatever. But you have to realize, like, your child has picked up some bad habits, and it's probably came from you, and you don't want to take accountability for it because if you know you do, you're gonna feel dumb type shit. Because I know how that feels. It's you just get that feeling of like, damn, like like shit, this was really my fault. But you don't want to say that. Like, people don't want to say that shit because it's like, it's better to point the finger at someone else. But when you're doing this, you got these three little fingers pointing back at you. You feel me? And everybody, I'm pretty sure y'all know what that means. And if those who don't, it pretty much means like, when you pointing at someone else, like, oh, look at what you're doing. Like, what's a good example? Because I know just saying, look at what you're doing. I know that's not gonna get to somebody's head. But what's a great example? A great example of pointing fingers. Oh, like how, boom, got you. Like how how the older people always say, the generate or freaking the rap thing, right? So let's get on rap, right? The rappers before the rappers now used to be like, guns, drugs, killing, all that shit or whatever, right? And then I see the older people now talking about the rap today, saying that what these rappers don't be talking about nothing. They only talk about the same things: drugs, money, cars, flashy stuff. But let's be honest, who do we get that from? Y'all want to take responsibility whenever it's like, oh, I started this, I started blah blah blah, but don't want to take responsibility when people take that example the wrong way, or either they take that example and run with it, and like, you just like, nah, cause the way I do it better is better than the way that they're doing it. You feel me? It's like, we can't respect each other for some reason. That's fucking crazy. Is that the problem? Can we not all respect each other? Can we not all respect each other's hustle? But man, accountability, take it, bro. Like, as a gamer, boom, man. Why am I even talking about rap? As a gamer, you have to take responsibility. You have to take accountability, not responsibility. You got to take accountability. You feel me? Cause if you play in a game and you fucking die in the game, you'd be like, oh man, the game fucking cheated me, blah 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 blah. It's so much better than saying, oh, that was my fault. Like, I did nothing in that situation which caused me to die, or I I panicked and I end up jumping into like some spikes or something. It was my fault, rather than saying, "Oh, the game moved my controller and I fell off and I died and that's why I lost." Like, come on, bro. Let's be honest. You're controlling the person. See, that's what, man. That's like real life. You're controlling the person, and you still can't see your own faults. Like, like, everybody's their own person, and they can't see their own faults, but they can see someone else's, and they like to point it out. And when that person points out the other person's fault, and the person be like, okay, well, what are you doing? You feel me? And now you stuck, and now you mad at that person for pointing you out when you was trying to point the other person out. You feel me? Like, we gotta stop that shit. Take accountability. If you did it, it is your fault. Like, as a gamer, in order to be great at the game, you have to see what you're doing and how the game reacts to what you're doing. You feel me? Because if you don't, and if you don't take accountability, you're just gonna end up quitting.